This is from December 11th, 24, but I'm saying it now because it looks like what they call is the quote pro-Palestine independent MPs. There's 4 at the moment of the Muslim faith, plus Jeremy Corbyn. They're calling themselves an alliance at the moment, but I'm expecting them to become a sort of Muslim party of Britain, basically an identity party. Because the 4 of them were strangers, when they get elected. The idea is they're getting elected under the pro-Palestine banner, or sympathy for Palestine, I'd call it. I mean, I've got total sympathy for Palestine, but I see really Palestine as just a sort of a Trojan horse for the real way it's going to go. It's really about identity, an identity party. I think we're going to have 2 big umbrella identity parties amongst the current minority groups, which are going to become a majority. The natives of Britain are going to become a minority, in case you didn't know. But we're going to have a sort of Muslim ones, because in Muslim you've got Sunni, you've got Shia, and within Sunni, I don't know, do Libyan Brits and Pakistani Brits go to the same mosques? If they're Sunni, both Sunni. I don't know. These are the sort of things we don't know. And I think the communities prefer we don't know, because they might go along ethnic lines, really. And they're saying here that at the moment they're calling themselves a sort of independent alliance. They've called themselves that since September. That includes Jeremy Corbyn. But they're not expecting Jeremy Corbyn to join their new party if they set it up. So that's a bit of a surprise. If it was just about socialism, you would expect Jeremy Corbyn to be in there. Really, it's just about identity. I mean, these areas that they've got elected in, they represent how their community looks, basically, and they're going to. I don't think there'll ever be another native Brit gets elected in these areas, and Jess Phillips' constituency will go that way as well. And many more Labour seats, mostly at the moment. They'll just go basically identity. And so it says they're weighing up whether to become a party, these 4 strangers, for the May elections. But I thought there was going to be an announcement in January, so I would have thought today would have been a good day for them to do it, It's the first day back at Parliament after they've had their school holidays. They've had about 2 or 3 weeks off. Mr Corbyn is understood to be against the idea of joining the party. So I think this is how it's going to go, This has all been enabled mostly by Labour, Green, Lib Dem, SNP, Clyde Cymru voters. But also by the Tories as well, just at a slower pace. And because we've already got in London, and the one thing about this party, it'll be interesting to see whether they use a very positive Anglo word, or whether they just basically, what I would consider being more honest, some sort of Muslim word, Islamic word, to do with identity mostly, maybe a positive word in Islamic, I don't know, Arabic or whatever. Because all these ones, like the Blackburn MP, I think that'll always be an identity candidate now. What happened there was George Galloway's party was meant to win there from Labour, the Workers' Party, and they had Craig Murray standing there, so that name, you would be thinking that a lot of the constituencies might not identify with him. But what happened was a young man of the faith decided to stand, and he said, if the elders don't want me to stand, I won't stand, I'll stand down. But so he was standing against Craig Murray. And when he says elders, does he mean old men that represent the whole constituency, or does he mean old men of one constituency, or does he mean women as well of that constituency? It's up to you what you think he means by that. But anyway, nobody said anything, and apparently his agent was formerly the agent of Jack Straw, you know, who was the MP there for decades. You know, probably Jack was always there to call natives the R word if they were anxious about the way Britain was changing. And I don't think Blackburn will see another Labour or Tory or the possibly native candidate ever again, you know, because it's... And we've already got in London, this was the Aspire Party, which is a very positive Anglo word. But when you look at it, it looks to be, well, it's 24 councillors, 23 of them are men, 1 woman. And in the leaflet, I think they've got the mayor there as well. The mayor won 5 years ago or something. He got kicked out of the Labour Party. And all of them seem to have Bangladeshi names. And so they're all Bangladeshi British. I think 3 of them were just kicked out recently or resigned due to bad news. The Europe Elects tweets were saying something that I can't remember what they said, but so I can't say for sure. But 3 of them have left. Things weren't going in a way, good way, not politically, just legally, I think, or something, or a bit of a legal issue or something, or someone was casting aspersions or something. But yeah, so you've got the Aspire Party in East London. They've got the mayor there, East London, and he was kicked out of the Labour Party, and we don't really actually know why. But he stood again as an independent. For some reason, he got elected easily in the area. And in the leaflet, the mayor posed with the 23 male candidates, but not the female candidate, as I recall. And so the 24 councillors, the main party there, I don't think they are now because those 3 have left, but they're probably still supporting, maybe, against Labour, you know. Yeah, so it looks like this is the way things are going to go. So it'll be interesting to see if this new party starts. So it's 4 independent MPs. All of them have names that sort of Muslim persuasion. Maybe that's how they connect. And to say about Palestine, I mean, I have total sympathy for Palestine, but you know, I'm not being offensive here, but I think those of the faith who express themselves as being very pro-Palestine, personally I think it's just sort of another way of showing envy. It's just a way of showing envy, and they don't really care about the Palestinians, and they would rather the we don't know this, but would they rather the Palestinians got the 1967 borders or fought to the death? We don't know, but really it's just an ego thing to me, you know, and we can see this in the Arab leaders as well. All of them are willing to give up Palestine, and the people of Egypt, they're always out protesting about Palestine, but they want 0 to come over the border, you know, to as refugees or whatever. So yeah, I don't think even places like Kuwait or Qatar take any. I'm not sure, I don't think so, but you know, so it's all mixed up. But to me it's a sad day for Britain when this party is announced. I mean, it's already, the only good thing at the moment is all this stuff that's going on about Elon Musk is going on about the grooming gangs and stuff. This might make the natives wake up and vote reform, you know. I mean, female genital mutilation wasn't a British tradition. It is now. And I would say it's indirectly enabled by Labour and SNP, and I said indirectly, you know. It's just basically the way they support the change of the country. It means female genital mutilation comes along with it, you know. So, but all this stuff about Musk and that, I'm hoping that this will make the natives finally be honest and dump Labour, the Greens, SNP. I mean, all those parties were fine in 1947, but it's very changed now. We've got one issue going on, And basically, it's okay to say, predict that it's going to be a utopia. You know, you can become London Mayor or Prime Minister if you say that. But if you're anxious about the future and everything in your brain, looking at countries from overseas, the countries that people are coming from, if you're anxious and you think it might not be good, you think it might be a little bit worse, or at the other end of the spectrum, it might be Mad Max anarchy. You know, you might get jailed for that, for predicting that. But if you predict utopia, you're all right. You know. But I would say if you're worried about it, you need to vote for him as an Overton window shift. I have no interest in Nigel Farage or their policies. I've got just an interest on a protest vote as an Overton window shift on this one issue, which I think is the only issue that matters. On the spectrum of where I think prediction, I think maybe anarchy. I think women's rights might take a turn for the worst, but that's only a prediction. I know that most Labour and Green voters feel that it's going to be much better. They're going to take on Yvette Cooper's views on women's rights and stuff, you know. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk. If you look out for that, you know, let's see what the people are saying. I mean, these people that they've voted with their feet about how they feel about their own societies, beautiful warm countries, and how they feel of a lot of societies in the world, say maybe the third world or East Europe, you know, or even Russia. But at least it's all out in the office. But at least, hopefully, we'll find out something about this. I'm pretty sure they will start the party, even if they don't get on with each other. I don't know if they're all of the same ethnicity, or if they're all probably all Sunni Muslims, I think. That's another thing we've got to look out for. Shia and Sunni tend to not get on, but usually they're quite distant from each other, you know, Iraq, Iran. I know there is a lot in Iraq now. I mean, someone said Iraq's now basically a Shia-led country. I don't know. So this is the sort of thing people are saying. So, I mean, I'm hoping that what's happening with Elon Musk and that just now, although I see him as a troll, but I'm agreeing with what his sort of message at the moment. And he seems he's pretty well read in Britain anyway. He said he read those statements by the judge, what the judge said in the grooming gang, the main. I mean, there's many cases, but the most high profile one, which wasn't really high profile, I mean, it was 12, 13 years ago or something, 11 years ago. Most people don't know about it, really. See, when people talk about British values, or Yvette Cooper or Nicola Sturgeon or whatever, really, because they're in favour of multiculturalism, they're actually talking about white supremacist, woke values, really, in my opinion. And, I mean, if female genital mutilation, if enough communities want that via their MPs in Britain, then you would have to be democratically, have to do away with democracy to stop it, you know. Because I could see it's in their interest at the moment for the, whatever you want to call it, third world community or whatever, to act as one against the native communities who vote Tory and Labour and that, you know, until they get really big things, and then they can maybe vote, we don't need to use anymore. You know, if you vote this, we'll vote that. If you vote machetes can go on sale, we'll vote female genital mutilation, etc., etc., you know, if that's what they wanted, you know. So, when people talk about British values, they're being white supremacist if they want multiculturalism. If they don't want multiculturalism, then there's just British values. But yeah, so I mean, to me it looks like it's not going to work, and the natural thing you do is do a sort of reversal And when you say reversal, you're not talking about people going to jail, you know? You're talking about people going to a place that's beautiful and warm, usually, and where everyone looks alike. I mean, these people have come from beautiful warm countries where everyone looks alike. So that tells you how they feel about that, you know? So that's just something to look forward to. Not look forward to, look out for. Okay.